This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury. Don't Mondays suck? Of course they do. They suck for all kinds of reasons. They suck because the weekend is over. They suck because it's the beginning of the week. If you're in my business, it sucks because anyone and everybody will have a phone call to make. I think I'm going to check on my case. And instead of thinking about, I think Mondays, the dog might be a little busy, you would think they'd be smart enough to say, I think I'll wait. But no. Mondays are always a pain in the ass. They're especially a pain in the ass if you spent your weekend driving to South Bend to watch the Bearcats play. Then it really sucks to be you. Right, Garrett?
Yeah, that would suck if you did something like that.
How long was the drive back?
I made good time, about 4.5 hours.
Did you drive or did you ride with someone?
I drove. Me.
Who'd you go with?
Some college buddies, 3 of my buddies from school, all met from our different parts of the world.
So it was a, how should we say this, a coming together.
A little bit of a reunion.
I see. You know what, folks? The word is the Battle of the Bands in Madison Saturday night. I asked last night, who won, the Stones or the Beatles? My reports say, and I'm sorry to say this, Guy McFadden, I heard the Beatles kicked the Stones' ass. That's coming from somebody who heard each band play 4 songs. So I just wanted to report that that's what apparently happened. I also want you to know that today we were going to cover the Oscars. And I'll give you a full report about what I liked and disliked about it, mostly disliked. I'll also cover a movie review, A Bad Day to Die Hard, a movie which I saw. I will cover the UK game, the UC game. Does Xavier still have a basketball program?
They do.
Okay.
Hanging on.
All right. I will report about Willie's and my battle against the Carnival Cruise Lines. I will also cover and give you a report on who I am calling the butcher from Pakistan. And ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, this is not an exaggeration. This is reality. After speaking with about 60 to 70 more of his victims, incredible what this guy's doing, and how the state of Ohio can't move to act on his license. I just can't believe it. That, of course, being Dr. Durrani. Not the Dr. Durrani from St. E's. This is the Dr. Durrani who's the orthopedic surgeon. We received a phone call from Dr. Durrani's husband, the female doctor from St. E's, saying, hey, man, Dr. Durrani. I said, well, sorry about your luck. It's not like it's Dr. Smith. Dr. Durrani's a little different kind of a name. Also, by the way, have you ever heard of dogs running around a medical facility like an OR or? I wouldn't think so, but yeah, he does. They must do that in Pakistan. Dogs must be welcome in the hospitals. Also, what do you think? We're going to cover this. The video of the Withrow bullying fight disappearing. Yep, the police and the school have a lot of explaining to do. And I will bring you up to date on that. We hope Traffic Girl gets here, by the way, on time. She's not stuck in traffic like she was Friday. We'll report on the case of what kind of a sick bastard spanks disabled people. It's pretty messed up, isn't it? Did you hear that news report about that guy doing that to somebody?
Yeah, pretty sick.
And our fine mayor, Mark Mallory, is in Spain checking out those streetcars. I wonder if he'd run with the Bulls.
Good. That's on my dime there. Have a nice time, Mark.
Can you imagine the mayor running with the Bulls? No.
I heard they want to get that.
He'd be running with his suit on.
I heard they want to get that eliminated. They don't want to do the running of the Bulls anymore.
And I got a special message for Robbie. Robbie, I visited Pharaoh Wilson in jail yesterday. You don't have to check any of the records. I just want to report that to you. Which Winslow will tell you. And as always, there is plenty else going on in the news that Bulldog Nation and me, your loyal and humble servant, will report on. as always. We got any posters that come in? By the way, I got to ask you a question, Jake. Since you are not getting hardly any bits for the show, what are you doing?
We're just hanging out.
Yeah. I mean, when he's not, when one of you aren't here, one of you operates the video camera just fine. So, I mean, if you're not getting bits, why am I paying two people? Jake? I just got to ask the question. I mean,
William didn't put any bits in the thing today. That's William's fault.
That is not true. William always has all these clips, which you all never, ever get, and I want to know why.
No, we get. I just don't play them.
And I got another thing to ask you, too. I'm paying you to, like, put the video up, and I'm paying Brad to put the video up. How come I got to pay two people to put the video up?
I don't think Brad's not doing video.
Are you sure?
I'm definitely putting the video up.
He claims he's doing that.
Fire.
I think I'm getting a raw deal is the bottom line. Alexander Hamilton, the quote of the day, the sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged for among old parchments or musty records. They are written as with a sunbeam in the whole volume of human nature by the hand of the divinity itself and can never be erased. Well said, Alexander Hamilton. He was one smart cat, like much smarter than somebody that would like graduate from Anderson High School.
Yeah.
1793, the first cabinet meeting was held at George Washington's home. 1859, the first use of the insanity plea to prove innocence was used. 1913, the 16th Amendment, the power to levy and collect income taxes, went into effect. We come back, we'll finish up today in history, birthdays, all that good stuff. No military deaths to report. And to honor the Beatles who beat the hell out of the Rolling Stones on Saturday night. You know, we need to honor them because they did kick this. But that's what I would predict. I mean, I love Guy McFadden. I love tumbling dice. But come on. Beatles versus Stones. And I still don't say, I say this. I need a Led Zeppelin band and an AC/DC band. Now that would be the battle of the rock bands right there. Don't you agree with me, ladies and gentlemen? And I guess we could have U2 versus Bruce. See, I know how to pick these competitions. This is the Bulldog. You know, Bon Jovi, Van Halen. There's another good one. Hard Day's Night. It's freaking Monday. It all sucks. But we have to go through it together, so shall we? On ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. You know what? It'll all be all right. More of today's history. The League of Nations was set up by the Paris Treaty in 1919. The first genuine aircraft carrier was christened the USS Ranger in 1933. Supreme Court decided in 6-3, baseball is the only antitrust exempt pro sport in 1957. That makes no sense at all. At all. 1964, Muhammad Ali TKO'd Sonny Liston in 7 for the heavyweight boxing title.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. George can't hit what his hands can't see. Now you see me, now you don't. He think he will, but I know he won't. They tell me George is good, but I'm twice as nice. And I'm gonna stick to his butt like white on rice. That's right.
Thank you, Muhammad. Wow, he talks. You know, this is so funny. When he was in his prime, I didn't like him. And then in his later years, I liked him.
Talk some smack, didn't he?
As a young kid, I thought he was a punk. I was for Frazier and Foreman. But later on, I kind of liked the guy.
Well, you got to be a badass to step in the ring, you know.
Heavyweight fight, man. Wow, 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 wow. In 1981, Lady Diana Spencer's life came to an end as Prince Charles announced their engagement. It's a little sarcasm there. It's a little sarcasm. L.A. Lakers, Abdul-Jabbar scored his 36,000th NBA point. You know what's really amazing about that guy? Nobody ever mentions him. All-time leading scorer in the NBA. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Let me see, what else do we have here? Elton John was knighted in 1998. We shouldn't talk about Shannon like that. This is your date. How about this? Chelsea Handler is 38. You know what? Very attractive woman.
Ugh,
But, skanky kind of chick. Carrot Top's 48.
She's not funny.
You know, I didn't realize that Carrot Top was such buddies with Gene Simmons until I saw Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. Carrot Top is 48. I don't get his humor at all.
Me neither.
Ric Flair is 64. Bob Schieffer, the old 76. Sally Jesse Raphael was 78. And once again, proof that anybody can do a talk show host, be a talk show. Cool. But you know what? Oh, wait a minute. For my wife, we have to mention today's also birthday is Pierre-Auguste Renoir. Renoir.
What is that? Some sort of
painter. Great painter. Great painter.
Yeah.
But most of all, and I want everybody to, I want a moment of silence. I want you to bow your heads if you can. I want you to kneel, genuflect. In fact, if you are in a room, go ahead and lay completely prostrate, because we shall honor today the one, the only, the greatest Beatle of all time. I don't care what Jamie Schloy says. George Harrison. And you know, when you think about this song, see, I play this song because this song's for Bulldog Nation. If you listen to these words, as you know, I close my show. Just listen to these words. Keep it going there, Garrett. It's George Harrison's birthday, so let's celebrate his life and his music. What was that? And you know, with George, he had all these songs that this is a true story. Harrison wanted to put on albums, and Lennon and McCartney, I know we'll use our songs. So when they broke up, George said, and no one could tell me that his music is the best of the solos. Listen to this. I try my best to make everything succeed every morning, right here. We are in high-level negotiations with the Harrison family and the Harrison estate that would allow me to play this song whenever I walk into a courtroom. As long as the judges say it's okay. And also my television commercial.
Guess Weird Al did a little interview with George Harrison. Let's
Did he?
see what that's all about here.
Listen to this.
George, who would you say is your number one role model in life?
The big fat guy who vomits all over the place.
Ed McMahon?
Yeah.
What the?
You're desecrating this song. I just want you to know.
I know. Jake?
Here we
Fired.
go. Here we go. One more time. Isn't that a beautiful song about love?
Yeah, you know when you
Who
first
am I without you by my side?
when I first heard it, when you started playing it, you know, the other station at the end of your show, I hated it. I was just like, it's like not a good song. I liked it. Now I don't like it again.
It's a great song.
It's a good.
It is my. How should I say it? It is my. That's not slogan. What word am I searching for? It's my brand.
You know, nothing is better.
Song. My signature song.
His greatest song is "While My Guitar Gently."
Well, we'll play that for his birthday. No military deaths
Sweet
to
Lord.
report. It's mostly sunny today. Yeah, baby. Tuesday, rain and wind. Wednesday, there'll be showers. By the way, the feel-good song of the day on the Facebook's Mac Davis, Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me. I love that song. Hey, to honor George Harrison, we ought to do My Guitar Gently Sweeps with If Not For You. And then his buddy Ringo Starr, Photograph. Great song.
My Sweet Lord, or what's that?
My Sweet Lord. Yeah, we'll do My Sweet Lord too, George's.
We'll find some Harrison.
Absolutely. At Andrew Jackson's funeral in 1845, his pet parrot had to be removed because it was swearing. That, ladies and gentlemen, is too freaking funny. Good job there, William. At the age of 26, Michelangelo began sculpting his monumental statue of David. He finished it 17 months later in January of 1504. At a distance of which our sun is located from the center of Milky Way galaxy Earth and the rest of our solar system are moving at a speed about 170 miles per second around the center. What you don't realize is, Garrett, is we are freaking moving very fast right now. But we don't realize it. At the end of the Beatles song, A Day in the Life, an ultrasonic whistle, audible only to dogs, was recorded by Paul McCartney for his Shetland sheepdog. What a goofball. At the height of its power, 400 BC, the Greek city of Sparta had 500,000 slaves and only 25,000 citizens. Oh, my God. By the way, did you see John Travolta last night? He was in the audience of the Oscars. He looked fit and trim. I looked at him and said, oh, my God, that's Travolta. Oh, my God.
Didn't watch much of the Oscars.
Yeah. Now I realize why I keep Jake around. He is a great box deliverer.
Great errand runner and everything. Come on, we need Jake.
He's a good Frisch's guy, good animal fact guy.
Don't break up the team here. We got a good thing going. Fire Shannon, if anybody.
All right. Shannon, you're fired.
Thank you.
You can come in and pick up your stuff.
Pick up your belongings.
You watch.
Don't look at us.
You watch her dad. She'll say, my dad called me. He said you fired me. We're just kidding around, Shannon. We're going to fire Karen Lusk as your backup. Yeah. She's fired. She gets in here and she takes over. Can't keep her mouth shut. You ever seen somebody
talks all the time like a 4-year-old?
She's in the background and she's freaking making comments about everything. God, it was a terrible idea to let her calm down.
Hillbilly.
Total hillbilly. At the time of the U.S. Revolutionary War, Philadelphia was the second largest English-speaking city in the world next to London. Oh, how about this? Audrey Hepburn's real name was Etta Van Heemstra Hepburn Rooston. Oh, my God.
What a horrible name.
But nobody knew that freaking sucker.
Yeah.
And August 9th, 1173, marked the first day of construction in the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It was completed sometime in 1370 after 2 building stoppages, 200 freaking years later. In 1178, when the tower was 3 stories tall, construction was halted for unknown reason. It wasn't until 1272 the construction resumed, and that lasted until 1278. The tower was 7 stories at that point. In 1360, construction of the belfry that would eventually hold 7 bells. Well, when the hell did it lean over? Were you not just waiting to say, when did it freaking lean?
Right.
And, of course, William doesn't tell us that.
Thanks, William. No smarter for having read that now.
Aunt Jemima pancake flour, in the law business, like in a deposition, we'd call strike that. Strike that fact. Aunt Jemima pancake flour, invented in 1889, was the first ready-mix food to be sold commercially. I wonder if you could come up with Aunt Jemima and the logo and the whole thing now, or would you be like freaking pillaged and, blasted? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I bet you would be. I think you would be. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Journey, we come back. More interesting facts. Until then, more Beatles to honor George Harrison. This is for Ferris Bueller's everywhere. Twist and shout on ClassX Radio. On ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, Australian termites have been known to build mounds 20 feet high and at least 100 feet wide. Australia's got some badass termites. You know why? Because Australia was, settled, of course, by everybody in London and England they didn't want. It was a prisoner's colony. God bless you, Jake, twice. I like that, man. Australia, a bunch of bad guys. Australia's box jellyfish has toxins more potent than the venom of cobras. Wow. Let me see. Aztec Emperor Montezuma drank 50 golden goblets of hot chocolate every day. It was thick, dyed red, and flavored with chili peppers.
Red hot chili peppers?
Yes, that's what it was. And Aztec Emperor Montezuma also had a nephew named Kutlahak. We got to remember this name, Kutlahak, whose name meant plenty of excrement. You're a big Kutlahak. I got to remember that. Everybody I come in contact today, I'm going to say, Kutlahak. No, I'm not going to try the joke.
Try it.
No. Weekend box office report, Identity Thief, 14 million. Snitch, 13 million. Escape from Planet Earth, 11. The Sappy Safe Haven, 10.6. And A Good Day to Die Hard, 10 million. Other than some of the cheesy lines and contrived stuff of Bruce Willis early in the movie, I liked it. I swear to goodness, they must have broken a record for gunshots and cars crashing. I mean, I thought you know what? It's basically like the longest chase of all time, really, in the movie. But it's good. A Good Day to Die Hard. It's about his son and him. Son and him doing battle together. Django Unchained. Seth MacFarlane introduced the film at the Oscars by saying this is a story of a man fighting to get back his woman who's been subjected to unthinkable violence, or as Chris Brown and Rihanna called it, date movie. Everybody went, ooh, I thought that was funny. And I want to say this about Seth MacFarlane. He did a good job overall. He didn't put people down, but they did a really stupid thing in the beginning. They did this song and dance skit about I've seen your boobs, and they talked about all the actresses that have shown their boobs and the actresses that haven't shown their boobs. And it made a lot of people uncomfortable. Charlize Theron was, she was like, eh. Jennifer Lawrence went like this because they said they haven't seen her boobs. It was pretty. That was pretty. It was pretty. The opening was too long. I was like, get over it already.
A lot of pressure on these hosts.
I turned it off. Adele rocked it with Skyfall, and of course she won.
Awesome.
The what?
The Bond.
I missed the Bond thing. It must have been in the hour. Let me see, 30 minutes into 90 minutes because we watched Shameless. Was that when it was?
Yeah.
Did the one guy not show up? Did Pierce Brosnan not show up?
But I wasn't sitting there deadlocked on it.
Argo, of course, won Best Picture, which I think it deserved. It was an awful good movie. Daniel Day-Lewis won Best Actor, which he deserved. Best Actress, Jennifer Lawrence. Sorry, didn't get it, but she won it. Ang Lee, Best Director, Life of Pi. Didn't get it at all. Best Original Screenplay, Django Unchained, Quentin Tarantino. I got that. I love that movie. Have you seen it?
No.
Django Unchained is a great flick. And the guy, Christopher Waltz, who was in that, won Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actress, Anne Hathaway, Les Miserables, didn't get that either. Her role was too short. It's just my opinion. Best Original Song, Skyfall. Best Adapted Screenplay, Argo. Best Actor Not in a Movie, The Bulldog. Dancing with the Stars. Sources say Kelly Pickler, Winona Judd, and Ali Raceman are a few of the contestants for the new season. You know what? They keep reaching further and further down. You know what I mean? That's what I look at it. Michelle, this is something I could not stand. Michelle Obama helped present the Best Picture Award with Jack Nicholson via video. Now, if they did that with a Republican president, politicizing the Oscars. Don't you agree? That's what
Mo was there.
Who?
Michelle O.
Michelle
made a teleconference appearance.
Michelle.
I didn't watch. I watched maybe 5 minutes of the Oscars. Don't do it for me. Grammys, I'll watch the thing from front to back.
Hey, what do you think's going on at the Combine? The Bengals met with Manti Te'o. Mm-hmm. Zimmer said he was good, solid, pretty sharp.
Yeah.
I would love, I wish the Cowboys could get him.
Just a complete more. I don't think you do want that. I don't think he's going to be that good.
I think you're wrong.
He's just not. Look at what he was exposed.
He had 6 interceptions, a middle linebacker, leading tackler. He was messed up in the head during the championship game. He played against great competition, and his defense kept people out of the end zone, Garrett. And he was the leader of that defense. Losing to Alabama was not like a crime, okay? Everybody lost to freaking Alabama.
Just saying, I don't think he's as good as you guys think he is.
We'll
see.
I think he is.
We'll see.
You just hate Notre Dame.
Yeah.
My wife hates Notre Dame, too, by the way. My wife's kind of like an anti-Catholic person.
I like Notre Dame, but they're snobby up there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, basketball games.
I don't like the snobby stuff at all. All things being equal, I kind of root for the public school over the Catholic school just because I'm a rebel.
Yeah.
And I know the Catholic schools recruit, like down in Kentucky, Trinity and X down in Louisville. It's a joke.
Yeah.
They recruit in 6 states. NASCAR last night, or yesterday, Jimmy Johnson's your winner. Dale Earnhardt was second. Mark Martin was third. And by the way, on Friday night, I don't care what anybody says. I made a few NASCAR fans mad on Facebook. Excuse me, but you know what? You got to have protection for whatever the hell comes through on a track. And the fact the engine block went, is it here's what the law is, folks. Is it reasonably expected? Is it foreseeable? Do you not think it's foreseeable that a car's going to crash and an engine block's going to hit the gate or hit the fence? Yes. So you got to have the ability to block it. I can tell you right now, any of those people has a great lawsuit. Anybody that was hurt, killed, whatever, they got a great lawsuit.
I don't think it killed anybody, did it?
I thought it did.
Look it up.
I thought that the couple were serious right after, and then they were downgraded.
They got a great lawsuit. By the way, you ready for this? The Reds were beaten by the Indians 11-10, 13-10, 3-0. Of course, they weren't playing anybody, so who cares? The Cyclones defeated Toledo 2-1. All right, next game is Tuesday at Crittenden at U.S. Bank Arena.
Let's go.
It's tomorrow night. Let's think about it. Let's see what
Okay, I thought about it.
All right, let's go.
Nah.
NHL score. Chicago 1, Columbus 0. Are they still undefeated?
Yes, 15.
Wow.
15-0-3 now, I believe.
Wow.
Who is this?
That's the new record.
Columbus?
The Chicago
Blackhawks.
I love that name, the Blackhawks.
Every team that's gone that far undefeated has won the Stanley Cup.
Really? Mm-hmm. Do you know that there was a Black Hawk War, that Abraham Lincoln was a captain serving his unit from Springfield, Illinois?
That's right. Yeah, I did know that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great war.
He became a leader during that time frame. He said, "Everybody get down!" And all of his men followed him. Get down!
That's where he gained important leadership skills.
I'm going to go on a rant later today, or later in this show, about how lazy people are and how lazy lawyers are. All right, when we come back, we'll have more Radio Superbity. Until then, this is While My Guitar Gently Weeps on the birthday of George Harrison on ClassX Radio. Ooh, go on ClassX Radio, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury. UK beat Missouri 90-83, huge win. Especially Kentucky got spanked by Tennessee earlier, of course, week. And then we had Missouri beat Florida. So, huge win. They toughed it out, holding on to the chance to make the NCAA tournament. Northern Kentucky lost to Mercer 63-46 on Saturday. Miami lost to Southern Illinois. Ohio lost to Belmont. Xavier lost to Virginia Commonwealth. Louisville beat Seton Hall. And, of course, the UC Bearcats lost yesterday. I'm sorry. The massive crash on that Friday nationwide series injured 33. I didn't think anybody was killed. I thought somebody was killed, but they are not. How about this? Mike, how you pronounce this guy's name? Arizoni? Mike Arizoni? Mike Arizoni? I think it's called Michael Arizoni. The goalie, or not the goalie, the captain for the U.S. hockey team. His jersey sold for $660,000. His stick, $262,000. His gloves, $53,000. Freaking a mill, man. He made a mill off that stuff. Can you blame him for selling it? I say hell no, you can't blame him. Adrian Peterson says his son will not play football. Always find that interesting. You know, they don't want their people to play, kids to play. The Lakers 103, Dallas 99, Miami 109, Cleveland 105. Ohio State beat Michigan State. Congratulations. And let me see, Notre Dame 62, Cincinnati 41.
What a piss poor effort.
I'm sorry, man. How about that? A 24-year-old Alexander Crouch fell from the 16th floor balcony of the Garfield Suites Hotel. He was attending a bachelor's party. Hey, and guess what your mayor, Mark Mallory's doing? He's in Spain meeting with the executives of the maker of the streetcars. He says, we need to make sure that the manufactured in the city are in perfect alignment to ensure that we achieve the success that we both want to see. Does anybody freaking believe that? Is Mayor Mallory an engineer? Hell no. He's in Spain as an excuse to see Spain. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, on our dime.
Traffic girl is here before 7. No traffic jams. Good job, traffic girl. We're glad you made it in.
How you doing, Shannon?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
How was the game?
It sucked.
Yeah.
Did you hear about him? Did you hear about him firing you?
I did.
You got fired.
Thank you.
Get the hell out.
I rehired you, though.
Thank you.
See, he can't fire you because we're consuls. Damn. Only one consul can do it when the other one's not here. That's the rule of the consulship.
Yeah, I'll wait till he's not here.
Okay.
Ohio's same-sex marriage vote's coming this fall. How are you going to vote, Garrett?
Go for it. Get married. Have fun.
Bernie Madoff, the Ponzi scheme king, currently serving 150-year sentence, says major banks he used to shuffle money had to know he was committing fraud. Wow. He turns on them.
The banks had to know.
The banks had to know. Bloomberg, Mayor Bloomberg in New York, soda ban, which goes into effect March 12th, bans sodas over 16 ounces. It also covers pitchers of sodas at family eateries and 2 liters delivered with pizzas. So if you're Chuck E. Cheese's, man, no more pitchers of Coke. You're in trouble, baby. Your party's going to struggle. You know, Friday's the big sequester kicks in. And it doesn't happen. It's just going to happen. Government will shut down. Oh, my God. Oh, but you're going to love something I got to share with you guys about the government. The government sucks. Don't you all agree?
Yes.
Well.
Anti-government.
Yeah, big time. Too much government.
Too much government sucks. Let us do what we want, people.
That's what we want to do. You know what the rule is, supposed to be? As long as what you're doing is not harming anybody else.
Yeah.
Let it be.
You're not kidding.
Let it be.
Ooh, we got to get that one, too.
I don't like it. It's not fast enough. It's too slow.
You're too slow.
I like movies that just rock and roll. I mean, songs that rock and roll. I'm not slow. I'm a speed demon, baby. Should have seen me on those softball base paths and those flag football quarterback.
Hey, speaking of that, are you going to sponsor
us?
us?
RG3. Yeah, you're the only softball team I will sponsor.
All right.
I get asked by everybody, and I just say no.
What?
Jake's in. Jake's going to play.
Jake's going to play?
Can I play?
Yeah. No.
Can you be the ball girl?
It's not a co-ed team.
No, it's not
God,
co-ed. We don't know enough girls.
How bad they treat you. They just say no so quick.
I know.
Oh, my God.
You're mean.
Will you come to some games?
Why are you so mean to
Yeah.
her?
All right.
Oh, now you want her to come to
You
games,
want me to
huh?
come to the games?
Yeah.
It's not a. Do you want to stand out with a bunch of guys? We don't know enough girls, Jake. You know any girls to?
We don't know enough girls.
I got one.
Hey, here's an animal fact for you. Do you know all elephants walk on tiptoe because the back portion of their foot is made of no bone, just fat?
Jake, where were you on that one?
But you didn't know that one, did you?
That's false.
How about Alfred
Jake?
Hitchcock? Did not have a belly button. It was eliminated when he was sewn up after surgery. That's disgusting. You got to have a belly button. He directed his first talking film in England was called Blackmail. All 7. This is sad. All 17 children of Queen Anne died before her. Wow. You know, Henry Clay had 9 children. All but 1 died before him. Let me see what else. Although explorers brought potatoes back from the New World in the early 1500s, Europeans were afraid to eat them for fear that the spuds would give them leprosy. They didn't know.
Okay. Tell me what leprosy is, and then I'll laugh possibly at the joke.
Leprosy is like a real bad boils all over your skin.
Ah, yeah, okay. Like a sick Irish person. All right.
A type of rabbit can mate 12 hours after giving birth. That doesn't shock me. A typical American eats 28 pigs in his lifetime.
How long do bunnies stay pregnant, Jake?
I assume it's a pretty short time. Most small mammals are.
Like a day?
Probably a bit longer than a day. But
A typical bed has
Not
6
quite.
billion dust mites. Yuck.
Ew.
That's a lot of damn dust mites.
Yeah. Finally washed my sheets this weekend. It had been 6 months.
Hey, did you know that Steven Tyler says he spent $5 million on cocaine before he quit the habit? That's a lot of cocaine.
That
man.
is a lot.
That's a lot of cocaine. All right, we come back. We'll have a traffic report and more radio superbity. What are we playing here?
Oh, yeah, a little.
A little.
Oh, my lovin'.
Oh, my lovin'. By the Beatles on George Harrison's birthday on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, let's see what's going on in traffic. Miss Shannon, traffic girl.
In Camel County, there is a disabled vehicle blocking the right shoulder on I-275 eastbound at Kellogg Avenue.
Is the disabled vehicle going to apply for benefits? All right.
Terrific report there, Shannon.
Thank you.
You're on your game today.
Thanks.
You know, Bob was sitting on a plane when a guy took the seat beside him. The guy was an emotional wreck, pale, hand shaking, moaning in fear. So what's the matter, Bob asked. The man said, I've been transferred to Chicago. There are crazy people there. They've got lots of shootings, gangs, race riots, drugs, poor public schools, and highest crime rate in the nation. Bob replied, I've lived in Chicago all my life. It's not as bad as the media says. Find a nice home, go to work, mind your own business, enroll your kids in a nice private school. It's as safe a place as anywhere in the world. The guy relaxed and stopped shaking and said, oh, thank you. I've been worried to death, but if you've lived there and you say it's okay, I'll take your word for it. What do you do for a living? Bob responded, I'm a tail gunner on a Budweiser truck. Get it? Tail gunner on a Budweiser truck. And, of course, Chicago. You know, Garrett, your new name is Gootlyhack.
Okay.
Gootlyhack.
Why the hell's that?
Because that means plenty of excrement.
I'm full of crap, aren't I?
How about the Day of Resistance? They made it sound so good. The Day of Resistance. They had one in Westchester Saturday, and they had one in Florence.
What is that? The Coupe de...
They decided guns, baby, Second Amendment. Let's be for the guns. I stand with them proudly, but I didn't have time to go. You know, I don't have time to go to those freaking things. I didn't have time to go to the Madison event, too. Bill Spry said everybody was asking where I was. I said, I'll just add to the mystique when one day I finally show up to something.
Yeah, sorry, Bill. Tell my fans I'll be there next time. Got a lot of fans that I know. They email Bill, call him a lot just to see if they can get me out on an appearance.
Do you know the
Too busy
Horseshoe
a lot of times.
Casino
Getting wasted.
opens March the 4th? March the 4th. And I got people that send me emails in Texas wanting me to get them special VIP tickets, and I'm like, what the hell? Hell, I sued the damn place.
Yeah, you're not getting any special favors
No.
from them, are you?
No. Figure Willie could maybe sling
What do you
something.
think, Shannon? You want to go to the premiere? I got a couple of VIP passes. Maybe play some blackjack
I
on
love blackjack.
opening night.
Yeah.
Yeah, big blackjack.
Are you good at
fan.
blackjack?
Yeah. Play some blackjack.
Oscar
Not sitting with the
Pistorius, his brother
What?
Carl. Go ahead.
I'm not sitting with a rookie, I said.
No, not a rookie at all.
Is facing murder charges for the 2010 death of a female motorcyclist caused when he crashed into her while driving recklessly. Man, that family's got some issues that done it.
Are you a rookie? I'd be afraid to play with you.
No.
I think
I'm good at
you'd
blackjack.
probably take my bus
You'd
card
be afraid to play with her.
just because she'll screw the table over on a hand,
No.
No, I won't.
potentially.
Like she won't take the card when she should, or
Exactly.
takes the card when she shouldn't. Mm-hmm. You know how you deal with that? This is where I always play in blackjack. First guy out. I want to sit immediately to the left of the dealer so I don't have to worry about what somebody else does. I go first.
Yeah, but it can still screw you.
Nah. Not when you're first, baby.
Okay.
You're in more control. You're in more control than anybody else.
Yeah, you are. That's true.
Benedict XVI blessed the crowd at St. Peter's Square Sunday for the last time. Dun, dun, dun. Did you hear about the guy? This is so funny. You know
Twitter.
You know the guy that did the video of Romney saying the 47% in that one place? You know who it was that recorded it?
Well,
Jimmy Carter's grandson. He goes, I've been hearing all my life people making fun of my grandfather. For good reason, James Carter IV. Or saying that he was a bad president or things like that, and I've just gotten used to it. And it's nice to be able to hit back. Little twerp. James Carter IV. Ha, 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 ha. You're still a Carter, dude. 24 people were arrested in the greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area as part of a 2-year investigation into a prescription drug ring. The group made a reported $1.8 million through their distribution of oxycodone. Wow. If any of you need representation. The only problem is there ain't nothing you can do with these people. They're like guilty and they're done. The Hamilton County Board of Election has submitted 6 cases of possible voter fraud to Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Deters. They are going down. Voter fraud. That's pretty serious stuff. You shouldn't vote 6 times, folks.
Yep, that is illegal. Although we tried to pay my buddy for his vote.
You did? Did it work?
No. No.
Since
take the bait.
Since Obama took office in 2008, federal per capita spending has climbed $822.90. When you think about all the people, that's a lot of money. You know, Barack Obama just plain flat out sucks as president.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. He just sucks. The New Hampshire Department of Health is warning people to check 3 and 5-gallon bottles of water of Poland Spring after November 1st. Is Poland Spring, does it like come from Poland?
Might. Comes from the Poland Spring.
The Florida
Bottle
Medical
it right there.
The Florida Medical Association is warning of growing shortage of doctors. Most importantly, the shortage of specialists. So what do? They're expanding Medicaid. They don't care about that. I tell you right now, politicians are just oblivious to freaking reality. God, I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. Even I can't take it. I sit on the sidelines. People wonder why I'm a skirt chaser. I'm a skirt chaser because I can't stand what's going on in my country. So I just chase skirts. I mean, if you had to decide between watching the ship go down or chase skirts, you chase skirts. So that's why I decided to chase skirts. Got a problem with that, Garrett?
Not at all.
Thank you.
Chase on, Bill.
And plus, when you look at, and I ain't saying that it makes it right if your wife's fat and ugly, but look at Hillary. If you look at Hillary, you'd chase skirts too, wouldn't you? I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you. If she looked like Halle Berry or some of them girls on the wall you got up there, I don't think I'd be chasing skirts. You know what I mean? Especially that Mary Z. Bulldog better not sleep at night. He better sleep with one eye open. I'm on that like green on grass. Don't tell Bulldog I said that.
Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome. I feel like doing some Bobcat Goldthwait. It's just that kind of freaking day. Remember Bobcat Goldthwait on Police Academy movies? Or this was before your time?
Oh, where he did the...
He yelled.
Yeah.
I really don't like this radio show.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
He's in a commercial right now.
Is he in a commercial?
I hate him.
I think he's funny.
I can't stand... I thought you were talking about the guy that does the sound effects with his mouth. That guy was good.
Bobcat Goldthwait's funny.
Oh, I can't stand that.
Ed Lanner is the lawyer. He used to do him pretty good. I liked it.
That's all he did. He would just whine and talk like a baby.
No,
it was annoying.
It is not. It was funny.
Oh, so annoying.
He was a methed up druggie. Oh, my God. Hey, Rahm Emanuel's approval rating in Chicago has dropped sharply. Get this. This is funny. This is the mayor of Chicago. 2% strongly approve his performance. 12% somewhat approve.
Wow.
Rahm's 14%. Nice job, Rahm. And he thinks he's going to run for president. Yeah. I don't think so. You want to ask? Let's see what Batman has to say. I don't think he's got a chance, Bulldog. Gotham. They had empty murders. They would never elect him. I got to go. Bye.
Saw the bat signal. He's got to take off another murder in Chicago.
No, I saw Anne Hathaway last night. Boy, I got to go.
Hey, didn't somebody fall on their face last night?
Jennifer Lawrence fell walking up to win her award.
That is awesome.
It is not awesome.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Oh, man. Yeah,
guys are mean.
YouTube
Wait a minute. Wait. What's this song, man?
Just
I
fell.
want that song.
That's a great song.
No. I want If Not For You by George Harrison.
Terrible song.
Not For You. It is not. And then I want Photograph by Ringo and the No song.
Not For You. We don't have a Not For You.
Yes, you.
Or that's not the name of it.
Yeah, I think it is. George Harrison. I think it is. I will we have a song.
Here Comes the Moon.
No.
Bangladesh.
No. He did a big fundraiser for Bangladesh. By the way, did you know he did the first massive rock star organized fundraiser? And it was in Bangladesh. He did it for all of his Hindu friends.
George Harrison, Ding Dong, Ding Dong.
Oh, come on.
It's a great song. Jake,
we have played, if not for you, countless times. I mean, countless times.
Let's see if old Kaufman's got the song.
Let me see. Obama and McCain are going to meet Tuesday to work out a deal on immigration reform. I don't know why they just don't build a wall. Either that or let me go down there with Robin. Let's leave Robin on the wall. I'm tired of him following me around anyway. God, can you imagine being Robin? Is there like a worse person to go through life as Batman and Robin? Don't you agree, Shannon? Yes. God. Anybody
the sidekick, though. You need the sidekick.
Yeah, but the sidekick, you don't want to be Robin. You could be Tonto. You could be anything, but not Robin. Oh, my God.
There's a Batgirl, too.
Yeah, Batgirl's all right. I like
Catwoman.
Catwoman's good.
Yeah, Catwoman's good.
You've been Catwoman for Halloween, haven't you?
No, actually. I haven't. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Can I weigh in on this?
Yes.
I love Catwoman.
You're sick.
I don't care.
Put a little photograph.
Albert says I am too. This is Photograph from on Ringo Starr, ClassX Radio. Sorry, I was channeling Batman there. ClassX Radio. Oh, on ClassX Radio. I, of course, am Eric Deters, bringing you another hour of the Bulldogs brand of radio superbity right here today, which happens to be, I believe, February 25th, 2013. Do we have anything going on in traffic there, Shannon?
In Cincinnati, there is an accident on Vine Street north of Compton Road, an accident on Martin Luther King Drive at Burnett Avenue. In Campbell County, a disabled vehicle blocking the right shoulder on 275 at Kellogg Avenue. And in Mason, an accident on Reading Road at US 42 and Snyder Road.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well done, Shannon. That was.
I'm on my A game today.
Elvis is just happy the way you did that. He really is. What else do we have in the news that's worth mentioning? This sequester stuff, I'm just kind of done with it. You talk about it. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. How about this? Abercrombie & Fitch has announced it will close up to 50 stores across the U.S. this year. Uh-oh. That's not good. What are those kids going to do? They pose for those posters. They're not going to have posters to pose for anymore.
Is that the one that the guys stand out with their shirts off?
Yeah, they do have naked. Thing? It's disgusting.
Oh, it's a great way to sell.
They like pump cologne throughout the store.
Yeah,
they do pump cologne throughout the store.
Do. You can smell it.
Man, you walk in there, it's like, geez, old Pete, I don't want to go in there. Fed up with that stuff, man. Of course, I had teenage boys. They always had to go to Abercrombie & Fitch. I don't think they go anymore. I don't think they do. I hope they don't. Our documents today, pretty good stuff. Lincoln's second inaugural address. On March 4th, 1865, in his second inaugural address, about a month before he died, Lincoln spoke of mutual forgiveness. He presided over the nation's most terrible crisis. The Civil War began 1 month after he took office and ended 5 days before he died. 600,000 lives were lost. Here are some words that Lincoln said. Fondly do we hope, fervently do we pray, that this mighty scourge of war may speedily pass away. Yet if God wills that it continue, until all the wealth piled up the bondmen's 250 years of unrequited toil shall be sunk, until every drop of blood drawn with the lash shall be paid by another drawn by the sword. As was said 3,000 years ago, so still it must be said, the judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. Finally, the speech is closing with the immortal words of reconciliation and healing that are carved in the walls of the Lincoln Memorial in the nation's capital. He set the tone for his plan for the nation's reconstruction. Here are those words. With malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan, to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. That's pretty good stuff. Of course, he did it without a teleprompter. There was no teleprompter involved. Now, I pulled this out of the New York Times over the weekend, and I think you're going to enjoy this. This is good stuff. This is a story that you're never going to hear anywhere unless you read the New York Times or you listen, of course, to me. Did you know the first year the New York Yankees were the New York Yankees instead of the Highlanders? 1913. And they did something really different. They actually had spring training in Bermuda. They went to Bermuda for spring training. And what happened that year is they had this future Hall of Famer named Frank Chance, who was going to be their big-name manager and play first base. Well, what happened is that he got hurt. And they put this guy named Hal Chase in at second base. And guess what happened? This guy, on purpose, started blowing games. His number one trick was to arrive at first base, a throw from another infielder just a split second too late. And he also cheated his teammates at poker and sold their bats in half just for fun. A strange character, a very strange character, said catcher Gabby Street. Chance, the manager, was deaf in one ear, and as a result of repeated beatings. As the Yankees' losses piled up, Chase took advantage of that. He would sit on the bench on the side of Chance's deaf ear and mimic him. He would yell the same order while scrunching his face to mock Chance, deliberately misinterpreting his instructions. Some laughed, but not starting catcher Ed Sweeney, who told Chance what Chase had been doing. On May 29th, after the Yankees lost to the Philadelphia Athletics at the Polo Grounds, a red-faced Chance said, "Did you see what went on out there today? Chase let those throws go right through him. He's been doing that to me every day, throwing down me and the club." Well, Chance benched Chase, who was batting .212, vowing never to play him again. They would later trade him. The trade did not reinvigorate the Yankees. They lost 94 games. It didn't help the White Sox, who were tired of Chase's shenanigans, too. A season later, Chase jumped to the Federal League's Buffalo Ball Club, then played for the Reds and the Giants. Before, this is 1913. When the executives in the World Series, that's the Black Sox thing, they canned his ass. Listen to this. What a waste of skill and artistry, Lee wrote about Chase, who ended up destitute, drifting from Arizona to California and picking up an occasional dollar by hustling pool. He could think and move like a flash. Nature fitted him to be a superstar. But alas, as Jim Price told me in 1911, he was born with a corkscrew brain. The first year of the Yankees, 1913. And they sucked. Of course, later they would get really good. You know what I mean? What else do we have here? I'm going to save that. Going to save that.
Would you cheat in a professional sport if you...
Nah, my conscience would kill me.
If you get... I would.
You would?
Absolutely.
Not
if it meant I was going to make more money than I would playing, damn right I'd cheat.
Speaking of Catholic schools, according to the Courier-Journal, Catholic school enrollment is down in Louisville and in most cities. I wonder why. I thought it would be up.
Expensive.
Garrett, what good does it do for a man to conquer the entire world and in the process lose his soul by cheating like you would do?
Well, if you can get a leg up by cheating.
Do you know how empty it is? Like a victory by cheating? Lance Armstrong, Barry Bonds, McGuire.
Yeah.
Don't give a damn. Have you learned anything? Oscar Pistorius looks like he's used steroids.
Yeah. I would come right out and say, look, look, parents, I'm not a role model. I'm actually a dirtbag.
I mean, if I work 22 hours a day to become the #1 lawyer in the tri-state by using caffeine pills, it would be wrong. If I use caffeine pills to stay awake 22 hours of every 24 to become the #1 lawyer in the tri-state, that would be cheating, and it wouldn't be right. I wouldn't feel as good as being the #1 lawyer if I did it that way.
But if you did do it that way, I would not fault you for it.
Yeah, but I would not do it that way. I drink green tea. That's the way I do it. Not caffeine pills, not pure grade, 200 milligrams, stay awake caffeine pills. I only do it with green tea, natural way. Do you have a song for me?
If not...
Oh, you've got the song!
Got the song.
And I'll dedicate this to my lovely wife.
Quit copying over it, Jake.
Who I'm sure she's sleeping.
I had to work to get this song.
You did? Well, thank you for working.
That's not a problem. What I'm here for.
I just want everybody to know that Garrett might cheat, but we don't cheat here on the show.
We do cheat. Kids, go cheat on a test today.
Don't listen to him, kids. Don't listen to him. Do the Bulldog way. Honestly, on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, I just want to tell you that we've got another hour and a half of the Bulldog's brand of radio superbity. And as you know, the Bulldog, yours truly, strives for superbity in all things legal, political, social, economic, sports, and otherwise. And, we haven't jack-wagoned up anybody, and I think it's time that we jack-wagon up somebody today. And I say the person or thing or event that we jack-wagon is Barack Obama.
You jack-wagon?
Just because he knows he can lie to everybody. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter anymore. We've lost it. We've lost our direction. And until then, let's have a traffic report.
In Cincinnati, there is an accident on Vine Street north of Compton Road, an accident on Martin Luther King Drive at Burnett Avenue. In Campbell County, a disabled vehicle blocking the right shoulder on I-275 at Kellogg Avenue. And in Mason, an accident on Reading Road at Snyder Road.
Thank you very much.
I'm trying to find flaws in these traffic reports because that's what I do. I'm nitpick. Yeah, Shannon's on it.
Well,
necklace is ugly as hell, though.
No,
it's horrible looking.
Let me see.
Don't you think, Erica? It's just a terrible necklace.
It's pretty.
It's a pretty necklace. You're dressed like the gals at the Oscars last night. They were all in black. You know what, though? The people at the Oscars, they're all like so self-important. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love movies.
They are important. They're rich.
I love movies, and movies are a nice break, but I'm telling you right now, you would think that they were freaking,
those people deserve to be praised like gods.
May I?
Make a lot of money like that, starring movies.
Can I rant?
People in poverty you really need to
Can I rant, please?
Look down upon. Yeah.
Can I rant, please? All right. I want... I got a couple things I want to rant about. Which one will I rant about first? I'm going to rant first about work ethic. I got to tell you a story. And on Sunday, well, first off, on Saturday, I met with lots of people. And my son-in-law, Chad Fuller, and Chuck and I were meeting with people left and right on the Butcher of Pakistan. Yes, that's Dr. Durrani. And I'll expand upon that later. And on Sunday, what I do is Saturday morning meetings, I usually do in Independence. Sunday morning meetings I do in Cincinnati for those people that live in Ohio and it's easier for them to come. And I had a meeting with a client, and this was kind of interesting because I promised them confidentiality in this because just strategically, it's best to keep it confidential, but the fear of this going public will hold us in good stead. But I met with this very wonderful family, and it was neat because they were big fans. I mean, after the meeting, they wanted pictures with me, and it was, pretty cool. So after them, and they left, I interviewed a lawyer, and this young lady is not working as a lawyer presently, and her brother-in-law wrote me a big, long email, said he was a fan, and told me that man, he really would like to give me to give her a chance to his sister-in-law, and she'd be wonderful and everything else. And little did she know, as she came into my office for this interview, is that I was in a terrible, 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 terrible mood. Why was I in a terrible mood? Well, I don't know what you do for a living, but is it not true that when you know how something's supposed to be done, and then when something doesn't get done the way you know it's supposed to be done, it just drives you nuts? And I'm hardest on myself. I really am. I'm hardest on myself. And then sometimes I can be hard on those around me, but I never ask anybody to do that which I'm not willing to do. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that'll take out the trash, mop the floor just like anybody else. Learned that from my dear old dad. But anyway, I was in a foul mood. And this is very interesting because I read 2 weeks ago in the Cincinnati Business Courier an article about, what's the name of the company? Oh, I can't believe I can't think of the name of the company. But it's owned by the Verst family from Campbell County. And there was an article in there about the Verst member who runs the company. I think he has an accountant background. And he talks about it's a logistical company, trucking company, warehousing company. And he talked about, his pride that he has in the family business and what you should do, X, Y, and Z. And one of the things, in fact, the number one thing that he says important in hiring somebody is, do they fit the culture of the company? And it's funny because I'm reading this, and I'd come to that conclusion like a month before relative to my office. Every business, I mean, you know it, ClassX Radio's got a culture. Clear Channel has a culture, a bad one, trust us, right, Garrett? Every law firm, although most law firms has the same culture that I've seen. But my law firm has a culture, and that culture is, and the guy at the top sets the tone for the culture. And the culture of my firm is work your ass off, respond to phone calls, respond to emails, care about the clients, work hard, don't worry about getting paid on every little thing you do, fight like hell, think outside the box, create new boxes. Fight for justice, work hard for the little guy. I mean, it's just the whole culture of the firm, okay? And it comes from me, okay? Well, the other day I was, get a text message on a Sunday from a client, and they said, hey, I hate to bother you on Sunday, but I've been waiting 5 days to hear back from so-and-so about so-and-so. And so-and-so in my office didn't do what they were supposed to do and then didn't return the phone call. So I contacted so-and-so, and I said, did you not, do what I told you and how to handle that? And did you not call so-and-so last 5 days? And so-and-so said, yep, I did not call him back because I've been busy with XYZ. And I freaking blew up. And you know what? I knew they were going to quit, and I was glad they quit. They quit. Now, you have to say to yourself, well, gosh darn, Bulldog, you shouldn't have, gotten mad about that. Really? Really? I'm not supposed to get mad if one of my partners doesn't call somebody back in 5 days? Sorry. I'm going to get mad. Because that's not what we do. It's not what I expect. By the way, when it happens to me, let's say, because this happens, folks, trust me. Let's say I don't get back to somebody in 24 hours, and they always send me an email. Hey, Bulldog, you hadn't got back to me. Man, I freak out. I call them, hey, I'm sorry. And you know what? They always understand because no other lawyer calls them back in freaking 72 hours. But as this young lady came in to my office, I was in a foul mood. And you're going to laugh when I tell you what I did. And I'll finish that story when we come back. Until then, this is the Beatles Revolution on ClassX Radio. Jumping the American Jerry, we first go to traffic.
There is an accident blocking the left shoulder on I-275 westbound at Ward's Corner Road. In Cincinnati, an accident on Pippin Road at Struble Road. and an accident on Blue Rock Road at Springdale Avenue.
All right, so this young lady, I kind of gave you the background. I'm in a bad mood. She comes into the office. This young lady has never practiced law except as a public defender in the city that she worked. And for the past year, she's not worked in law because she couldn't find a job. Now, let me just tell you about my thoughts about attorneys. I'll take a mutt, quote-unquote mutt, the stray dog, so to speak, over the purebred any day of the week. Because just like that purebred dog who has to be pampered and, has to always get its 3 square meals, sleep inside, so forth and so on, that's not what I'm looking for. I'd rather have the junkyard dog. I'd rather have the nicked dog. I'd rather have the mutt, the stray dog, okay? So this young lady sits down, and my interviews usually last 5 minutes. When I hire a lawyer, it's kind of like, okay, I'll give you a chance. If you suck, I'll fire you. If you're good, you stay. Well, this young woman, I proceeded to say, you know what? I cannot stand the work ethic of lawyers. And I went on and told her about every lawyer that I've ever had work with me that had been a lawyer for some time, like lawyers that have been lawyers longer than me. I've been a lawyer 25 years, or the same as me. It amazes me. They want to take an hour-and-a-half lunch. They want to go golf. They want to go to cocktail parties. They want to hang out with their friends and say, I'm a lawyer. Hi, I'm a lawyer. They want to spend every freaking weekend traveling somewhere. They want to go golfing, so forth and so on. Okay? And they don't want to text. They don't want to email. They don't want to be bothered, on weekends or evenings. That's their time. Which is freaking ridiculous because you know what? If you're a lawyer 365 days a year. That's my attitude. And besides that, I'm trying to do something very unique that no other lawyer around here has been able to do, which is build a powerhouse, large plaintiffs criminal defense firm. There's a reason why all those kind of firms are small, okay? Because it's risky and difficult to do. I'm fortunate, though, because so much business flies around. So I'm just ragging on lawyers, and I'm ragging on young lawyers. They get to the office at 9, they leave at 5. And I'm going on and on and on and on and on and on. I mean, I did this like for 15, 20 minutes. It was hilarious. She was red-faced. She was like, so I said, I said this, you know what? I really don't think that you probably have what it takes because I can't find people to have what it takes. And I went through like the list of the lawyers in my office, the ones that I think have what it takes and the ones that work their butts off and the ones that don't, so forth and so on. And I just, but I just went on and on. And I get done and I said, what do you like to do? What do you like to do? She didn't know how to answer the question. I said, you mean like law? She says, no, what do you like to do? She says, well, I like to read, like to work out. So that's good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But by the time I got finished with her, I just assumed, and by the way, I've decided this is what I'm going to do for now on when I interview people. No more coddling. It's going to be, this is what I expect. This is what you're going to have to do. Boom, 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 boom. So I left. She left. I'm sitting there thinking, I'll never hear from her again. Well, guess what? She sent me an email and she said she'd like to start next Monday. Now, the chances of her succeeding are much better. Oh, I talked about loyalty, too. I said, let me see. My characteristics for a lawyer are a little bit of brains, hard work, common sense, and caring about the client. I said, I don't care if you're freaking not law review or top of your class. Hard work and caring about the client, everything else will take care of itself. I also mentioned loyalty. Well, you know what? The chances of her sticking around and succeeding are far greater since I laid it on the way I did versus, some sugarcoat thing. She now knows what I expect. And we'll see how it works out. But I'm actually going to put an ad that basically outlines what I'm looking for. need not apply if you're a lazy ass.
Garrett.
Is that too harsh?
Now, why the hell would you say that, Shannon?
Now,
Shannon thinks I'm a lazy ass.
you're not lazy.
Thanks.
But you're not hard
Did you
working.
hear that?
But you're not hard working either.
Yeah, well, I know that. It's like to cruise through life, you know?
In other words,
set the cruise control.
And that's okay. There's two kinds of people in the world. People that want to, as Achilles said in the movie Troy, and he actually said this in the real life Homer version. He said, "Will they remember your name?"
Yes, they will.
Well, they remember the Bulldog. They're going to remember the Bulldog's name. I got this thing. This is incredible, folks. You wonder why the government is messed up? We settled a case, and the government has a lien on this settlement because my client was a government employee for $1,474.09. Now, this is what they send to me. This is in response to your letter dated 1/10/13 requesting medical payments paid on a third-party claim for our employee and our client, your client. The government lien is $1,474. Please note the government lien is required by the U.S. Department of Labor, OWCP, to be paid before any disbursements are made. Please make a check or money order for the government lien payable only to the U.S. Department of Labor, OWCP, and mailed to my attention. I'm also attaching CA1108, long-form statement of recovery, which is required by the DOL-WCP to be completed by you and submitted along with the check or money order for the government lien to me. If any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me at blah, 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 blah. Client, and then Annette Clark, HRM specialist, and a number. Okay. They want me to complete CA1108. You wonder why the government is so freaking screwed up? This is the freaking form I'm holding up to the video. This is the form with about 20 freaking lines and calculations for me to write them a check for $1,148. It gets worse. I mean, okay, I'm going to go through this. Gross recovery, entire amount award. Amount of real personal property damage. Subtotal A, line 1 minus line 2. Amount allocated for loss of consortium, percentage of line 3. Subtotal B, line 3 minus line 4. Amount allocated for wrongful death, percentage of line 5. Amount allocated for survival action, percentage of line 5. Subtotal C, for wrongful death, enter line 6. For survival action, enter line 7. If neither, enter line 5. Attorney fees, percentage of line 8. Subtotal D, line 8 minus line 9. Court costs, adjustments are made for loss of consortium, wrongful death, and survival action, see instructions. Subtotal E, line 10 minus line 11. 20% of subtotal E, line 12 times 0.20. Subtotal F, line 12 minus line 13. Refundable disbursements. Subtotal G, lower of line 14 or refundable disbursements. Government allowance for attorney fees, percentage on line 9 times line 16. Refund to the United States, line 16 minus line 17. Credit against future benefit surplus if line 14 is greater than line 15, then line 14 minus line 15. Otherwise, enter 0. Note if the recovery was both a wrongful death action and survival action, a separate CA1108 must be prepared for each cause of action. Then there's a certification. Then there's a Privacy Act statement, public burden statement. Instructions for Form CA1108. Oh, my God. It is 2 pages long, and it is a joke. That is a form you have to fill out if you're a lawyer giving the government $1,148 on a settlement. You wonder why the freaking United States government is screwed up. Exhibit A. Now, just imagine every single day what people have to put up is this crap. And you know what, folks? You're to blame. You know why you're to blame? Because you just keep letting the United States government get away with it. Consider the tax code. We let them give us the tax code. John Boehner, Mitch McConnell, Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, George Bush, Barack Obama, all of them haven't done a damn thing to change the freaking mess that we got. Thank you. Thank you very much. We come back, Radio Superbity. I'm on fire. I'm just getting started, so stick around on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, I'm going to continue my assessment of the world. And until then, we have to be interrupted by a very boring but necessary traffic report.
Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome.
There's an accident blocking the left shoulder on I-275 westbound at Ward's Corner Road, an accident on Pippin Road at Struble Road, and an accident on Blue Rock Road at Springdale.
All right, thank you.
It's pretty good.
What'd you think about the NASCAR race? I know you hate NASCAR.
Yeah, can't stand it.
I want you to know that I do not watch the NASCAR race because it's like you can just watch SportsCenter and find out what the hell really freaking happened. Why watch 200 freaking laps?
Yeah, I actually started to watch the race, fell asleep for 6 hours, woke back up, and it was still on, and they were seemingly doing the exact same thing.
You mean it's kind of like a soap opera?
Yeah, a little bit. So I can't stand it. It's not a sport.
Yep.
And could give a damn.
Yep. It's tough, isn't it?
But it's a big weekend for those Hillbillies. Kind of kicks off the season for them. We'll go deep into October, I think.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, on Friday, and Channel 5 and Curtis Fuller covered this. I don't know if any of their television stations did. The Enquirer covered it as well. But this is a huge, huge story. And, of course, I'm on the case. February the 7th, the day that will live in infamy in Withrow High School, there became news reports about how Precious Allen and her daughter stormed into Withrow High School, snuck in, stormed in, went all the way to the classroom and just started wailing away on a student there, and mayhem approached and blah, blah, blah. And if you read those news accounts from February 7th and February the 8th, like me, you sit there and say, my God, who's this crazy freaking lady and who's a crazy kid? This is god-awful. Well, it wasn't too long, 24 hours, well, the family called the Bulldog. So, first thing I do is unleash Chuck, the underboss of the Bulldog Mafia. I said, Chuck, go talk to these people, see what the scoop is. Chuck did his duty, and he reports back to me, you're not going to believe this. This is all a bunch of BS, man. He says, this is not the way it went down. Of course, I later would meet with the family, and they would be on the show. They went on Willie's show. And we find out that this is a bully that was bullying her daughter, Cornisha, and that all she wanted to do was get her the hell out of Withrow School, and they went to the classroom just to get her belongings and so forth and so on. Well, of course, they charged Precious with a felony. She's now been indicted for 2 misdemeanors. And they charged Cornisha with crime. She's a juvenile, and she is in juvenile detention for about a week, which she's now out. So we filed a subpoena. We issued subpoenas against the Cincinnati School District at Withrow and the prosecutor's office for the video footage. And by the way, if you didn't know, there's 20 cameras around Withrow High School capturing the events of that day. And in addition to that, we were very anxious to see what discovery they may yield. Well, they wanted the trial go right away. We're like, are you kidding me? And it got continued. Well, last Friday, I assumed it would get continued, and I was ready to go over there at any minute. But my partner, Tom Seal, was there. And guess what we find out at this little hearing in front of Judge Wendy Cross? Well, the attorney for the Cincinnati Public Schools says, we've produced all the videos that we have. There used to be a video that we don't have now, but we've produced all the video footage. Guess what? There's public statements that the Cincinnati Public Schools gave the police some video. Don't have it now. And guess what they turned over to us? Well, good old prosecutor's office turns over to us a 2-minute video of our clients not storming in the front door, walking casually through the front door. Okay? Now, there has been an admission that there's video footage of what happened out in the hallway when the bully came flying out of the classroom to continue the fight. What's more, they've turned over the written statements of the people and I haven't seen them yet. Tom Seal has them. I'm going to read them today. And apparently, a lot of people in the classroom support our client's position that they were not the aggressors. Now, you might think, guess what? There's a few people in that room that say differently. I wonder if they're friends of the bully. But it's universal. Everybody admits that the bully came charging out of the classroom to attack. Precious and her daughter. Again. Well, I want to tell you something, folks. Something smells in Denmark, as famously said in Hamlet. There is something called spoliation of evidence, destruction of evidence, and that's what we obviously have here. And there's a hearing set for March 6th on this video, and we have an issue of compliance. I think the trial's March 23rd. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, the Cincinnati Public Schools lawyer actually had the nerve to say, well, the video was no longer available before the media asked for it and before the subpoena. It makes no difference. On February the 7th, that video footage was evidence of a crime, and it has to be produced to the defendants, and it cannot be destroyed. And obviously it was. And when you hear what Precious Allen had to say about the deputy or the law enforcement officer that freaking interviewed them at the school, it was incredible. So, ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, here's the questions I have. Who was the operator of the video? Who at Withrow High School was in charge of videotaping? Who first looked at the videotapes? Who got a copy of the videotape? Was it the Cincinnati Public Schools or was it their lawyer? Was it the Cincinnati Police or the prosecutor? Who destroyed it? If they did destroy it, how did they destroy it? If they copied it over, why? If they freaking didn't keep it, why didn't they keep it? I mean, it's incredible. And you know what? Do you think anybody's going to be found guilty in this? Hell no. Because it's going to be admissible that they destroyed evidence. But you know what's even better? There's going to be a federal freaking lawsuit for malicious prosecution when the charges are dismissed against Cornelia, when the charges are dismissed against Precious Allen. And I'm going to sue the Withrow School District. I'm going to sue the principal. I'm going to sue the board. I'm going to sue the police officers and the Cincinnati Police Department. I'm going to sue anybody and everybody who tried to destroy these lives, because guess what? There have been consequences. As a result of this, Precious Allen has lost her job working for the nuns, a job that she did for many years at Madonna Manor. Cornelia spent a week in jail. They have been publicly humiliated. And what do? They destroy videotape. They destroy evidence. And by the way, if you're wondering why I'm talking about this, well, it's all in the public realm, and it is also of public concern. There should be outrage all across the media. 5, 9, 12, 19, every place. The bully, her mother said, I'm thinking about suing the Withrow School for them getting in here. Oh, yeah? Well, you're going to get sued for not control. Oh, we found out the reports were there was bullying all the way up till the day before from the bully versus Cornelia. And you all know what bullying is, don't you? It's abuse. Abuse. Withrow let it happen. And then, you know what happens, folks? If you are charged with a crime, no song, we'll go straight to the break. Let me tell you something. Every single day across America, here's what happens. People get charged sometimes with BS. And you know what happens? The criminal defense attorney says, thank you very much, I'll be $5,000. And then they say, well, the prosecutor says this, you ought to plead guilty to this, they'll knock it down, blah, 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 blah. And people just do it. You know what they never expect? This is just a juvenile matter. Oh, this isn't a big deal. The Cincinnati Police Department, prosecutor's office, as well as the Withrow School District, would never dream that somebody like me, somebody crazy like the Bulldog, would say, you know what, I'll defend you for free. And not only will I defend you for free, let's go hunting for some justice, and let's sue the hell out of anybody that did this to you. They never, ever, ever expect it. And then when it goes down, it's like, oh, crap. Now I got him. Who destroyed the video and why? Who saw the video? The district administrators claim they watched it. Really? Well, what did it show, district administrators? And what happened to the videotape? The Bulldog is coming on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury. Let's see what's going on in traffic.
In Hamilton County, there is an accident on Work Road, and everything else has been cleaned up.
Thanks, Shen. That was quick and easy.
I know.
All right. I'm going to call out the doctors in this community. And let me tell you why. Now, first and foremost, I have lots of doctors' friends. I have doctors' clients. And I have good relationship with lots of doctors and a lot of doctors' groups. I also do a lot of medical malpractice. And I'm very proud to report that, for example, the cases that I have against Dr. Durrani, a lot of these treating local docs are saying, yeah, that surgery shouldn't have been done. And I'm going to get to Dr. Durrani here in a minute. But yesterday, there was a 2-page article in the Enquirer about the medical care in the community. And it talked about the fact that hospitals are buying up physician groups. I can tell you right now, in northern Kentucky, for example, everybody's now owned by St. E's. And at the same time, in Saturday's newspaper, they reported that in greater Cincinnati, medical costs are up 9.3%. Double-digit pace in 2012, outpacing 26 of 27 U.S. metropolitan areas. Now, what do you think, folks, if there's not a correlation between those two events? A, consolidation and monopoly by the hospitals and increased medical costs. What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, probably. Now, here is why I am calling out the doctors. I have met with, over the course of the past year, 3 doctors who wanted to meet with me, who were concerned about St. Elizabeth Medical Center and the monopoly that they have and the fact that they're buying up all these practice groups. I mean, they're not just buying up the primary care physician groups. They're buying up all the specialists. And I don't care what anybody says. It's a monopoly. It's a monopoly. It's antitrust. Now, to challenge that, I need a plaintiff. Now, I've talked to these doctors and I've said, man, have some guts. The latest one that I spoke to, I thought might. But I want you to know that I don't think so. Now, I've actually got a recorded transcript of a northern Kentucky doctor who reports to me what St. Elizabeth's administrators have said to him. And you know what they say to him? With all, reality, not these exact words, but clear as day. Join or be destroyed. Does that sound like antitrust to you? Join or be destroyed. I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, have some courage, because let me tell you something. If you don't want to go that route, well, they're going to get you anyway. So what difference does it make? Have some guts. Be the guy with the guts. And you know what? I know a lot of other doctors saying, gosh dang, I wish I didn't freaking join this thing. I've lost all control, da-da-da-da-da-da. So they're all moaning and groaning, but nobody's got the guts. No doctor in northern Kentucky has got the guts to say, you're right, Bulldog. This is a monopoly. This is what they said to me. This is what they did to me. It's time to do something about it. And as a result of them not having the guts, your medical costs are up 9.3%. More than any other metropolitan area but one. Thank you. Thank you very much. And in greater Cincinnati, it's the same. It's the same. And you know who benefits from Obamacare more than anybody else in health care? Hospitals. Hospitals benefit. Doctors don't. I've talked to so many doctors about this. And the people that benefit are not. And here's what's going to happen. These hospitals have paid a lot of money for these hospital groups. But guess what? When they get going, they don't need them anymore. Watch what they do to these doctors in their salaries. Oh, and guess what? I got a lawsuit pending that involves billing issues. Do you think the hospitals are motivated, the doctors are motivated to bill? If the hospitals say to the doctors, hey, man, you want to make more money, you got to bill some more. You bill. We'll pay you some more money if you bill. Bill. I am licking my chops. I want the fight. I want the battle. Not one single, shame on you, tri-state medical community. Shame on you. Not one of you have got the guts to stand up and say, yep, Bulldog, you're right. This is what they said to me. This is what they said to us. Boom, boom, boom. Well, I got a recorded transcript anyway that I'm going to freaking release to the public. Here you go. Here's your proof, public. Here's your proof, Congress. Here's your proof, Justice Department. Here's your proof, Attorney General. What more do you want? I had a memorandum from a official from a hospital, second in command, who said, well, we have to knock out urgent cares because urgent cares are a threat to our emergency room department. We got to use all our political resources to do this. And I've been talking about if you want something in the news, you might well tell me because it ain't going to get public. Guess how many people have done the story about that? No one. The Inquirer reports health costs going up, consolidation. Nobody reports what's really going on. Like oftentimes, the Bulldog stands alone. It gets lonely sometimes, folks. Just think of the powerful enemies that I've just made in the last 10 freaking minutes. Ask me if I care. It is the life that I have chosen. It's the life that I've chosen. And I might drop dead tomorrow from exhaustion, but at least I'll know that my lot is not with those cold and timid souls, doctors of the medical community in the tri-state, who are afraid to step up. They might lose their condo money. They might lose their country club membership. They might have to lose a little bit of money. They might get blackballed. Who the hell cares? Be like Achilles. Let them remember your name. No. A life of comfort is more important. Do you know how easy, what life of comfort I could have if I just said, well, those are freaking pretty big cases. I'm just going to handle those. And hell with all these stupid battles I make. I'm not going to do them. I'm disgusted. Where's the guts from the medical community? Give me one doctor. Let's join hands and let's do battle and let's do good. Shall we? Maybe I could shame one doctor into doing something he ought to do. Probably not, but I'll just keep on freaking trying. We come back. I'm going to share with you the Butcher of Baghdad story. Excuse me, the Butcher of Pakistan. And I know there's going to be people that go, oh, I can't. Should you really be doing that? Should you really be saying that? You're darn right I ought to be saying it. The facts back what I'm about ready to say. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, consistent with the theme that I've just gotten on, how about the New York Times Magazine? Robert I. Lind, former chief scientist for Frito-Lay, say, I feel so sorry for the public. And there's an entire article about how the processed food companies make food that makes you addicted to it, gets you addicted to it, makes you fat, gives you cancer, everything else, all for the mighty buck. It's engineering. It's not baking. It's not cooking. It's engineering food to make you addicted. Inside the hyper-engineered, savagely marketed, addiction-creating battle for America's stomach share. Former chief scientist for Frito-Lay, I feel sorry for the public.
No, you know what? I don't. Here's why. like blaming the guns for shooting. You're blaming the food now for making people fat. You're fat because you're a fat ass and you eat too much, myself included. But that's why it is. It's the opposite.
No, partially it's that. Partially it's that. Partially it is that there's people that eat too much, so forth and so on. But let me tell you something, Garrett. The cigarette companies knew nicotine was addictive, did not care about, not care, knew it, and they got America hooked on nicotine. If companies, now, don't get me wrong, everybody knows that a cheeseburger's fat. Everybody knows fries are fat. I'm not for suing McDonald's for French fries and cheeseburgers. Those lawsuits, in my opinion, are stupid. However, if there's proof that food companies are getting people addicted to their products, just like nicotine, that they know is going to kill them, it's a different ball game than full knowledge. Full knowledge. I mean, I agree with you, but it goes deeper than that. It's the same thing that cigarette companies are doing. Everybody knows cheeseburger and hamburgers, make you fat. The issue is, do they make their bad products addictive, just like nicotine, without letting you know? Let's get you addicted to this. That's wrong.
I heard one time to truly eat healthy, you should never eat anything that comes in a package.
Well, you shouldn't.
That's right.
That's what my doctor says. Hey, I tell you what, it's called
To
fruit and
shop on
vegetables.
the outside of the grocery store.
It's called fruit and vegetables. It's colors, colored food, fruit and vegetables.
Colors, letters, numbers.
Yep, your colors there. We come back, the Butcher of Pakistan. What a great show we're having today on ClassX Radio. All right, traffic girl, what do we got going on, traffic?
In Cincinnati, there is an accident blocking the left shoulder on I-71 southbound at Ronald Reagan. Slow traffic from Pfeiffer Road. In Florence, there's an accident blocking Mount Zion Road at Interstate Highway 71. In Hamilton County, an accident on Work Road. An accident on Broadway Street at East 8th Street. In Cincinnati, an accident on Central Highway at Lynn Street. And in Florence, an accident on Industrial Road at Dixie Highway.
All right. Hope everybody's safe. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, I was representing and am representing 6 individuals that had cases against a orthopedic spine surgeon in a tri-state named Dr. Durrani. And Dr. Durrani most recently was a part of a group called the Center of Advanced Spine Technologies, or CAST. And last Tuesday, we filed 7 more claims, bringing the total of 13. And I was very proud of Channel 5 and Channel 12 and Channel 19 for coming to the press conference where we had the individuals that I represented, because, in my opinion, it was a public service. And the reason why I thought it was a public service is because nobody has this many medical malpractice claims filed against them. And you have to start wondering to yourself, why? Why? Well, as a result of that news coverage, we are now representing, because we spent, myself, Josh Robinson from my office, Chuck Holbrook, Chad Fuller, Kim Moore, my nurse, the 5 of us met with, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We filed one yesterday just in time to not miss a statute of limitations for a young man. But we now have 77 cases against Dr. Durrani. Now, defense counsel for Dr. Durrani, I think, went on Channel 19 like the day after and said, this is just bandwagon stuff and I'm soliciting clients. And I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm trying to save the public from ruining their lives. Let me tell you what we've learned. We already knew this, but to hear these stories over and over again is heartbreaking. You sit there across the table from somebody or in their home, and you hear how they were told they didn't need a neck or back surgery. And they go to Dr. Durrani, and Dr. Durrani says, you need a back surgery. This one guy has a a calf muscle issue. Dr. Durrani performs a neck surgery. C2, C4, the cervical part of the neck, okay? Cervical part is the neck. I'm going to tell you something. We have found some video footage that indicates him how much money he can make on these. And I call it the Durrani scar. All of these people with this scar on their neck. Now, I don't know if all of these people are going, when they go to a follow-up local tri-state orthopedic surgeon or not, are going to, what they're going to say. But so far, everyone looks at the pre-op films and says, you didn't do this. Now, I want to tell you a story about two that I met with on Saturday. A mother and a son. Son has a sled riding accident. The son is hurt, and he's hurt for a little bit. And a particular doctor, and I got to find out, there's got to be a connection. A primary care physician refers them to Dr. Durrani. Dr. Durrani takes one look at the films and says, you've got a stress fracture. You need to have all of this pain management. And he sends them to his pain management guy. I think his name is Dr. Taeb, who's no longer around. He sends them to him, and he starts these excruciating needle injections, so forth and so on, which guess what? Renders this guy now permanently neurologically damaged in a very bad way. We're talking about a young man, okay? So he goes to a local orthopedic doctor, another local orthopedic doctor. And those two local orthopedic doctors, well, the guy looks at it and he gets to his buddy and says, look here. He says, you didn't have a stress fracture. You have no stress fracture. This kid's life is ruined by this fraud. The mom, had something wrong. It was not that big of a deal. Oh, you need surgery. You need surgery. And what Dr. Durrani does is he preys upon these people who have pain. And if another surgeon says, you don't need surgery, well, it's easy for him to say, it's like when somebody comes to me as a lawyer, oh, yeah, you're really in trouble. You pay me X, Y, Z, I can get you out of that crime. He preys upon that. This woman has neck surgery. She's never going to be the same. She's going blind. She can't freaking see. And all of these scenarios are the same. And in addition to that, there is the use of Medtronic's BMP2 improperly. I mean, it's unbelievable. Now, you tell me, folks, 77 people whose lives are never, ever the same. Oh, by the way, these two people commented how they were at this Westchester hospital, which, guess what? His dog's running through the freaking place. I got two clients who think they got MRSA from the dog being in the freaking operating room. How often does dogs hang out in medical facilities? Maybe they do in Pakistan. Dr. Durrani, diagnosis for dollars. And you know what? He is a butcher. What he has done to these people is like a butcher. He goes back and forth between here and Pakistan. He denied this in a deposition. He's told these people, some of them, he's a prince. He told me he's a family member, owns an international textile, company. And I keep thinking to myself, all the people. By the way, so many of our clients, he has them scheduled for another surgery. If you've had surgery, you know what happens. You get a fusion, you're done. You don't get it a follow-up surgery. Some of these people, he says, he's operated on twice, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. That one lady I just told you about says, you need to have surgery every other year. Who does that? It's an outrage, folks. And those of you that are saying, you're doing publicity to get clients. No, I'm trying to save the tri-state from one more person having their life ruined at the scalpel of Dr. Durrani. I keep thinking to myself, the people, if, like 70 people called us, I'm thinking, how many people called and canceled their surgery and think, thank God I saved them from that. By the way, this isn't Dr. Durrani from saying he's the female. This is Dr. Durrani, the orthopedic surgeon from Citizens of Advanced Spine Technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, do not let Dr. Durrani, the orthopedic, destroy your life. I now have 77 clients who he did. We come back. We're going to have more Radio Superbia and wrap this show up. Until then, we have more Beatles-related music for your listening pleasure on ClassX Radio. The Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, your final traffic report on this Monday. Go ahead, traffic girl.
In Cincinnati, there is an accident blocking the left shoulder on I-71 southbound at Ronald Reagan. In Florence, an accident blocking the road on Mount Zion at Interstate 71. In Hamilton County, an accident on Work Road. An accident on Broadway Street at 8th Street. An accident on Central Parkway at Lynn Street. In Florence, an accident on Industrial Road at Dixie Highway. And a disabled vehicle on the ramp to 71 southbound at 275 westbound at exit 49.
I'm giving Shannon Oracle status.
Thank you.
Well done.
I think she just pitched a perfect day on the traffic report.
You think so?
Yeah.
An A today?
No, it's a C.
Oh.
C, yeah. You got to do something extraordinary to get a letter grade bump.
Well, I agree with that assessment. I think that's a good idea. You know, you mentioned before, Garrett, about that you would throw a game,
Cheat,
make some
yeah,
money,
absolutely.
whatnot.
Uh-huh.
You know, I spoke at a sentencing, not a sentencing, a guilty plea of a good man that did one thing wrong. And it really moved me to see his wife and his children come, and they stood before the judge and they spoke. And then I had to speak, which I wish I would have went first because I was emotional and kind of choked up after listening to what each of these, kids said. Good family. And this is a good guy that made one mistake. And his conscience ate him up. He could have, just said, I'm not cooperating, But he actually came to me, and he just couldn't take it, and he wanted to just confess to the police.
Yeah, get it off his chest.
So the police come in, we sit down, and he confesses, and of course they use that against him. When they say anything you say can and will be used against you, you can count on it. And it was I thought it was, in one way, I thought it was kind of stupid, but the guy just couldn't. When he came out of that interview, he's like, whew. Now, there's no mistake that he wants, he thinks his punishment should be less than what a prosecutor wants, and so do I. And on the way to the courthouse that day, all I could think about was the word conscience and how this guy's conscience just tore him up. And I think what that's indicative of is somebody who's a good person. If you don't have a conscience, you think about serial killers, you think about really wicked people on this world, they don't have a conscience. They can just commit crimes. They can just do whatever. They have no conscience for it. Who cares? And it's hard, in my opinion, to carry around certain things. Some things more than others. Let's face it, men more than women can rationalize, compartmentalize, and things like that. But women can too. But I just think to myself how the conscience is such an important part, and that we develop that in children and develop that in ourselves to where you just can't stand it. For example, I have publicly said that in 25 years of practicing law, I've missed 2 statute of limitations, and I told my insurance carrier to pay the goddamn things because it was like, I don't want to freaking fight them. But I'm blown away on a daily basis what I have to deal with from those people that don't want to accept responsibility, big corporations. And by the way, I'm a capitalist, folks, but just like anybody else, big corporation, they screw up, they need to be held accountable. And powerful people, police departments. Man, you talk about somebody that never wants to admit fault, the police department. That Michael Gatta was shooting in Ellesmere is Exhibit A. how anybody could watch that video of Officer Byrd shooting Michael Gatto in the back as he's driving out. And do they just say, okay, we want to make this right? No. Bill. I had this case the other day where we showed up in court. My client was injured by a tractor trailer, has a brain injury. They offered $239,000 6 months ago. I said, stick it. We filed a lawsuit. The defense attorney says this. We wanted a trial as soon as possible. We got a trial scheduled for December. $1 million coverage, and we'll settle it for under $1 million. The defense attorney tells my partner, well, we're never going to go to trial with this. We're going to settle this case, probably about May. We'll settle this. And I'm thinking to myself, these people are losing their home. Guess when? May. Foreclosure. They're losing their home. This guy hasn't been able to work. And it's just like, well, and this is an insurance company. It can write the check. But no. I honestly don't know how some people sleep at night. Like Rob Sanders on that Gatto shooting. He put in a report that we don't know how and when and this gun was fired. It's right there on video. How does he sleep at night? Conscience is a good thing. Very good thing. Very good thing. Don't you think? Yeah.
Keeps you morally upright.
And it doesn't mean you don't fail. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a sinner, not a saint. But on big things, my wife and I were talking about this the other day. Can you imagine killing somebody? How do you freaking carry that around with you? Like Oscar Pistorius, let's say he really did murder her, okay, but he could get off. Just think what's going to eat him alive the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Eat him alive. Just how do you deal with that? It's tough.
O.J. Simpson.
The conscience. The conscience has to.
Doesn't seem to bother
and you might outwardly, well, unless they don't have a conscience, but I'm just saying, I think even those people outwardly, they can carry on all they want. Their conscience is killing them. Killing them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, thank you for tuning in today. This was an extra superb show. Thank you, Shannon, for getting here on time today and doing an A-plus traffic report. Jake, thanks for carrying my boxes. At least you did something. And Garrett, thank you for turning the songs on and off and me on and off going into breaks. You did a great job.
Pretty good at that, aren't I?
And sorry about your Bearcats. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Hope tomorrow is yours on ClassX Radio.